Welcome everybody to TB Sports 27, Big 12 conference action on the line. 37-game winning streak on the line for the Utah Utes and the UCF Knights. It is a reunion of sorts here. This is the brand new Big 12 matching real life conference realignment. But this is a couple of teams we battled. We won our first national championship way back in our second season with the Utah Utes when we knocked off UCF. We also played a pretty famous home and home, but at some neutral site games. We did the rematch in Miami for the anniversary of the national championship. And then we did a rematch of the rematch on the West Coast in Denver at the Broncos Stadium, which UCF got the win there and kind of started that season off in a bad way. So Utah opening up Big 12 conference play, and we got the bounce house. We'll see if Spencer joins us at all in the chat. Spencer, of course, a regular viewer of TB Sports, and we got SK Money. What's going on, SK Money? We were just talking about Spencer, who's an alum of UCF, not in the bounce house here today, but we are in Salt Lake City. So, you know, they got to deal with the altitude. They got to deal with the mountains. They're not used to dealing with this here in Florida. Game audio too loud? You sure? 100% sure? How about now? Test. Could turn down even more. My OBS, I'm at -15 for my mic, and the game sound is at -35, so I'm surprised that. How's it now? Test. I think it's good. Let me know if it's still bad or not. Hopefully it's okay, but I appreciate the heads up on the audio. Sometimes we don't get the heads up. I've done entire streams where the microphone wasn't going out and nobody told me, so we didn't have any audio. But UCF, Utah, and even going back to when I was coaching Troy on NCAA 12, UCF was a rival of Troy. And like I said, the national championship match that we had way back when. Clear as day. IFB, check the IFB good. Winning streak on the line, as always. If we complete a third consecutive season, regular season undefeated, we will get the record. We will tie the record. I believe it's a tie or break the record. I don't know, one of those. But we get basically at the record of Oklahoma if we can finish out undefeated. Look at this. Bill Bradford on the kick return, still on his feet. And does he have the speed? He should. He's a Heisman candidate. No, he's going to get tripped up at the 5-yard line. But what a kick return for Bill Bradford against the UCF Knights here to start off this game. Now let's see, is Bill going to cap this one off, or is he going to head to the sideline? Maybe Aaron Price has to come in to complete it. Who's in there? Price is in there. The guy runs for 99 yards. You got to take a breather. But Aaron Price just stuffed at the goal line here, held out of the end zone. But what a start to this one for the Utah Utes, as this is the brand new Big 12. Some would argue an easier Big 12 with Texas and Oklahoma and some of those big names. Bradford stepping back in, and how about the goal line stand for the Knights of UCF? But yes, some would argue an easier Big 12. You know, Texas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, they were kind of the three teams that gave us the most trouble. We did schedule Nebraska, if you guys remember, opening week. We had the kickoff classic in Texas and had that scare where the winning streak nearly came to an end. So third down, and Bradford does get in. Man, he nearly got horse-collared from behind. But the kick return and then just a bunch of runs. And number one in the nation, Utah, looking for a third consecutive national championship. That has never happened in this franchise that we've been doing over 20 seasons plus. We've never had a three-peat national champion, and we could be looking at that here, maybe matching our Denver Broncos franchise mode that we've been doing. We had 3 Super Bowls there, 3 in a row. So let's see other big upsets. We got Colorado surviving West Virginia. What a top 15 battle. Army getting the win over Auburn, and Duke with the win. So a lot of close games here in the world of college football. Maybe a good time to throw a little plug out there for you guys that we are going to recap all of the scores. If you guys want a little bit of bonus content, a little bit of extra content, patreon.com/TBSports27. After this game, head on over to Patreon, and we are going to have the post-game report, the exclusive post-game report, where we go over all the scores from the top 25. You know, one of the big ones, Auburn and Army, but we go through all the scores of the top 25. We look at bowl projections, we look at recruiting, we look at stats, Heisman watch, all that kind of good stuff. Underthrown pass, and Jonathan Barrett able to jump up and knock that one away. So nicely done there. Sam Lee, your starting quarterback here for UCF. UCF coming into this game with a 1-1 record, a loss to Nebraska on their resume, team that we beat, and a victory over an FCS team, let's say Florida A&M. Got the win over the Florida A&M Rattlers. So that's been UCF season so far. 3rd down and 7. Brand new Big 12 conference opponents wide open. What happened there to the coverage? Earl Hall left open. Kevin Wagner, who's a sophomore. And we also see Jason Lyles, who that's a rare one for Lyles. He's usually, pretty darn consistent. He's a senior, a guy that we can always rely on. But in that play, well, he got burned. He got beat up good. So pistol formation now for the Knights. And, well, they hand off to Whitehead in the all-white unis here. Whitehead, white unis. 1st down for the Knights. An injury report there for Central Florida, UCF. Screen pass, caught by Smith, turns upfield, and Smith gets shoulder tackled by Sam Harris. But either way, UCF responding here after Utah putting the early touchdown on the board. And look at this, we got upset alert. Ohio State going up against independent UConn. UConn's got the early lead on the Buckeyes, so be on the lookout for that. Ohio State, of course, we played Ohio State 2 years ago in the national last year, right? It was last year's game was Ohio State was the national championship game. And it was a couple of years ago we played them in the Fiesta Bowl. I think that's what I'm thinking of there. So Lee looking for the screen. Whitehead's got it and could not get those extra yards. Boy, he had a shot at it. And we're getting a nice look at Brandon Charles there. So UCF decided to take the points here, take the field goal, rather than go for it on 4th and 3. Go ahead and get something on the board. You're battling number 1 in their house. And it's been years, but we mentioned this was a upset that happened in the past. We got SMU now of the ACC. I think I messed that up a couple of times in some previous streams where I kept mentioning SMU being one of the alliance teams. But no, they are part of the ACC. And I think everyone for a couple years with this new conference realignment. And look at this, another big kick return from Bill Bradford. We were debating Bradford's going to break the tackle, and Bradford has got over 200 kick return yards in this ball game. This is insane. We were debating Bill Bradford or putting Newton, who had been the kick returner for years. The game put Bradford in, and we just kept forgetting to go into the settings and switch it out. But man, in this game so far, Heisman candidate, maybe this is what he's got to do to get the Heisman candidacy up. Forget about the running game, which has been a bit of a struggle through the first 3 weeks of the season. Even though he's been named MVP in those games, he certainly has not been performing as well as he has, as other running backs have done so far this season. But my goodness, on the kick return duty. We got Miami and Cal. That's an ACC matchup. Georgia Tech getting the road win over Boston College. Nebraska setting up some wicked out-of-conference games. They played us. They played UCF. So they played some Big 12 opponents. Plus, they play Washington State, which is part of the Alliance. And if you guys are maybe just tuning in for the first time, as part of conference realignment, where we got kind of these big super conferences, instead of a group of 5, we're kind of grouping all of the smaller conferences together in what we're calling the Alliance. And there's going to be one Alliance champion at the end of the year. They're broken up kind of into divisions, but there's going to be one main Alliance champion at the end of the year. We might even come up with our own Alliance championship game, even though there's not a way to schedule that. Maybe we just do like a coin flip or something like that, so we can kind of have something on the field of play as an Alliance. I think we might end up doing that. Just kind of take the 2 best Alliance teams, do an Alliance championship game, and kind of flip the old coin there, or do something, where we can kind of pick a winner, because there wouldn't be a way to schedule that game and simulate it, obviously. So a way to maybe just flip the coin and have a winner, and if they have a solid record, they can get in the college football playoff. We're keeping it as a 4-team playoff for this season and next season. We're going to do at least 2 more seasons. I know by the time you might be watching this on YouTube, the new college football game is going to be out. Yes, we will play the new college football game at some point, but I want to finish at least 2 more seasons of the Utah Utes here before we retire and go into a new coach. So I want to at least do 2 more seasons of that and 2 more seasons of the 4-team playoff. When we go to the new game, I assume they will have the 12 and the proposed 14-team playoff that might be on the horizon. Isn't it crazy, man? I said for years, as we're going to get possession here, the BCS, man, I was like, I hated that thing, and I talked about for years and years and years just personally, where I was like, man, even if we can just get, they drug their feet. College football dragged their feet for so long about we can't have a playoff, can't have a playoff, can't have a playoff. And they did the 4-team, and I said, I guarantee you they get a little taste of that, and that's going to be it. And they got the taste. Now they're doing 12. And before they even get the 12, they're trying to push the 14. So, go back. You can go back in the archives of on Patreon, the BCS playoffs. Those of you that might have been around, our 32-team playoff that we did for a number of years. Andrew Cross, first attempt at a pass in this ball game, and usually goes about as well as it has been for Mr. Andrew Cross, as he immediately gets sacked. Taken a lot of sacks so far this season. That's something we've talked about. He has definitely taken a number of sacks. 3rd down and 19 here for Cross again. Man, he did not sense the footsteps. Dan Davis, and did not feel that one coming at all. The linebacker blitz, and Cross, who, we keep saying it, might be, he's the guy. He's the guy we got. He's has an impeccable record. He may be the quarterback to lead Utah to a record-shattering winning streak to defeat what people thought was going to be the impossible Oklahoma Sooners record of the 1950s. And he might be one of the least consistent quarterbacks in college football that's going to have these numbers. It's going to be very interesting. We got to get an Andrew Cross. I know SK Money mentioned arena football, but we got to put Andrew Cross in some kind of next game to just see how he's going to do in the pros or arena football or what have you. So UCF's going to get really good field position here. 14-3, mainly on kick returns. Oh my goodness, Sam Lee. Who was that? I didn't get a number. Joe Davis. Wow. Joe Davis, what a shot. Was that clean? I don't know. They might have called a penalty nowadays for helmet to helmet or forearm to helmet or something, but my goodness. The Utah Utes defense, especially the last 2 weeks, they had a slow start to the season, giving up the 21 points to Nebraska, where the offense had to lead the comeback, but they had a terrific second half of that ball game where we were able to hold Nebraska scoreless, and then the shutout of Stephen F. Austin, and only 3 points on the scoreboard from South Alabama. So really, I mean, UCF only got 3 on the board right now. This defense for Utah, not to do the old announcer jinx, but we've only given up those touchdowns in the first quarter of the Nebraska game, and since then, we've gone 8, 9, 10 quarters. This could be quarter number 11 without allowing a touchdown across the board. So the Utah defense continuing to play tough here. A bit of a screen pass, it looked like it was, but he got some air under that one. And Hampton, Brady Hampton, picks up his first catch and his first down of the ball game. And UCF in big business right now. Nice numbers there. 10 attempts, 7 completions. And Lee, I'm surprised after he just got lit up by Joe Davis that they would call that and he wouldn't try to argue with the coach and say, hey, wait a minute. I don't want the ball in my hands again. I don't want to deal with this again. So 2nd and 11. And the first quarter will wind down. Lee is going to keep it, and Sam Lee has not had much luck rushing the football so far. Not as brutal as a hit there, but certainly, as you can see, the 3 rushes. And the first quarter comes to its conclusion here. And you see the score? It is 14-3, and really it's been all the Utah defense on the field. Really, for the Utah offense, they've run, 6 plays? And it's a 14-3 lead. So it's going to come down to 3rd and 13 here for the Knights and the Utes. Shotgun formation, empty set formation, and is that TJP? No, it's Aaron Perkins for 7 yards. So now decision time again. Take another 3 or go for the first down. They're going to take the other 3, assuming he makes it the chip shot. This will be the first time in 2 weeks that more than 3 points will be put up on Utah, and that is exactly what has happened here. 6 points on the board. SMU of the ACC looking to go to 3-0. They got a 4-point lead over our Big 12 brethren, TCU. So we're trading touchdown for field goal. Let's see. They kick it deep here to Bradford. And is Bradford, oh my goodness, thought he was going to break it again. What an effort from Bill Bradford. But finally, if Utah is going to want to get points, they got to go the distance here. Pistol formation for the Utes. Handoff to Bradford. Nice opening up the middle. We get about 9 yards on that rush. We got Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, in Big Ten play. Find themselves trailing early on the Michigan Wolverines. Speaking of Wolverines, be on the lookout this week for some RXFL action, our Legends Football League that we play over on Madden. Be on the lookout for that because we got our next Thursday night game, which is going to be a part of our Patreon page. So help support the channel, patreon.com/tvsports27 to get some bonus content. And of course, we're still looking for our 2nd season of ESPN NFL 2K5. The numbers have been doing very good as Cross has passed this disaster. Numbers have been very, very good for ESPN NFL 2K5. So if you want to help bring a 2nd season of ESPN NFL 2K5 to the channel, we're looking for 10 new Patreon signups to help unlock an additional season of ESPN NFL 2K5. Cross, nicely done. They will get rid of that one to Lewis Gardner. So help make that a reality. I'm thinking about doing as a Patreon bonus because you guys are liking the ESPN content, that maybe we'll do some of the ESPN 25. It was the 25-year anniversary of ESPN, and they have all these anniversary moments You guys want to see us play through some of those? Maybe we'll do an episode or two for YouTube and put the rest up on Patreon for you guys. Let me know if that's something you guys want to see or not. Let me leave your comments down below. Want to hear from you guys on that. Second down and 7. Cross, quick pass. There's Newton, the man that was on kick return duty the last number of years, but it has gone to Bill Bradford this season. But he has delivered so far, at least in this game, with a couple of very nice kick returns. Absolutely. Nice drive here. Handoff. Bradford. Good block. Decent block. Bradford able to pick up a couple of extra yards. 7 carries, 19 yards. So once again, the rushing attack of our Heisman candidate, and I continue to be surprised. And again, if you're joining us over on Patreon, you guys know the post-game show where we're looking at all the Heisman stuff. I'm surprised that Bill Bradford has stayed as highly ranked as he has, because when you look at the other stats in the Heisman race, certainly other running backs have been passing up on the stat sheet what Bill Bradford has been doing. Third down and 5 here for the Utes. Andrew Cross, and it's intercepted. The freshman Tim Mitchell. And what happened on that one? It just got away from Cross. Cross, should we take a closer look? Cross, he had the open man, and I don't know, the pass just... It's open. Well, I mean, he's covered, but he's in front when Cross makes the throw. Receiver, or corner rather, just stepped in front and made it. What do you guys think? Good decision, bad decision? Either way, another turnover. And it's just, the debate rages on. You hate to... Oh, and it goes right back. How about that? Intercepted right back. Brandon Charles, the linebacker. What I was going to say about Andrew Cross is it's been the debate for so long. You know, do you pull the plug? When is it enough for Andrew Cross, and, you know, more of a getting in the way than he is good, but man, it's just when you keep winning the games like this, and I know he's not necessarily the reason, but there's a good throw right there. Take the good with the bad. That was a solid throw on the run, right on the mark. First and goal here. Bradford, touchdown. I'll say one thing, he might not have the yards, but Bill Bradford is racking up the touchdowns. And here you see, wait a minute, that's an NCAA record right there. Well, it went away. I think that was an all-time NCAA record. So there you go, Bill Bradford. It went so fast. Maybe we'll see it again. Yes, SK Money. Good defense. Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. How about Bill Bradford, the record setter? Where's Spence at? Spence, the team's getting shellacked. UCF is getting taken to task here. Playing like schlubs. Moose, what's going on? Moose always cooking something, man. You're crazy. Good to have you in the house. Loaded house here. Stacked house for Utah and UCF. And UCF got to start putting touchdowns on the board. That is not going to do it. That was an awful pass. Sam Lee had been playing good up to this point. He's been rocked, though, with a couple of hits. He's been knocked around, knocked loopy, and then he threw that interception, the untimely interception, after they had just come up with a big interception. Kind of a short pass there to Steve Jacobs. 3rd and 8, Big 12 conference play kicking off for the first time. Utah and UCF as Big 12 conference foes here. Lee under duress, and he is quarterback sacked. Shelton Russell pushing right through. Is this an asterisk? People have been talking about, you know, with Nebraska going to the Big Ten, Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC, that this conference significantly easier. And if the record goes down, you know, did they really have the gauntlet? You can't really control what other teams have done, but people making the argument that, yeah, this conference now with those 3 juggernauts leaving, quite a bit harder, quite a bit more difficult, but to, you know, our credit and SK Money kind of helped schedule the game, but we did schedule Nebraska to kick off the season here. And Bill Bradford. Moose says, rare matchup, but you got to get used to it. These guys are going to be conference foes in the future here. Utah and UCF both going to be a part of the Big 12 in real life here. You're getting a little teaser. Back-to-back handoffs. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Utah Utes. And funny enough that, you know, we had made the decision. We had switched Utah to the Big 12 just because we had dominated the Pac-14 for so long that we just wanted to kind of switch it up, have some different opponents. Like we had won, I think, like 6 or 7 years in a row, the Pac-14 conference, and Cross had nothing there, had to just eat it and take a sack. So we had already moved Utah to the Big 12 conference, and then of course in real life with conference realignment and all that going on, they ended up in the Big 12 in real life, along with UCF and Colorado and all that stuff. So, in Colorado, that'll be the big one. That'll be the record. That'll be the Oklahoma record. Colorado at the end of the year. See if we can get a defensive stop, get one more possession out of this before the half. As always, if you're joining us live like Moose and SK Money, stay right where you are because the second half of this game will come your way in just a couple of moments. Of course, if you want to see the entire stream early and ad-free, months before it comes out on YouTube, you can do that at patreon.com/tvsports27. Not only do you get that, but usually some unedited content that doesn't make it onto YouTube is left in those full video releases. So if you don't want to watch the video in parts, if you'd rather get the entire game in one sitting, Patreon is the place for you. But for those of you that are our fellow YouTubers, and we're getting some really good numbers, better numbers on YouTube than we are on Twitch right now. I'll say that. We got about probably 5 times as many subscribers on YouTube that we do on Twitch. So if you guys want to join us live, if you're watching this on YouTube, I encourage you guys to check us out on Twitch because we are not quite at YouTube levels from where we are on Twitch. So I'd love to get those Twitch numbers up as well. Plus, if you join us on Twitch, you get all the videos early, months early, because we stream way ahead of schedule, then we upload to YouTube. So you get all the videos early, you know, and you'll be able to chat along live with us and all that fun stuff. So Moose putting me up on the big screen, up on the big TV. I appreciate that, my friend. How we looking on the big TV, huh? I think we're looking good. Looking good, sounding good. TB Sports. That's right. 1st and 10. And Andrew Cross to throw it. And pass completed by Johnny Davis. So we got the 2-minute drill here, 2-minute warning. And starting to put UCF in a predicament if we can go down and get a touchdown on the scoreboard. I'm not looking for a field goal here. We want to get the touchdown on the board. We're going to put them in a bad way. Cross to Brian Baldwin. We're definitely going to miss him. Certain guys, man, you get used to the names. Baldwin's going to be one of them. And of course, we mentioned 2 more years. Next year, you know, calling it the TB Sports retirement year before we go on to the new game. And Moose on both. Appreciate it. Yeah, get on both. If you're on Twitch, get on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, get on Twitch. Follow along with us, man. We're everywhere. TB Sports everywhere. Look at that. All the places you can support and watch TB Sports. So be part of the action. Yes, sir. 3rd down and 3 here And cross to Gardner. First down, Utes. How about that? And the Utes get the touchdown here. Put 28 on the board. Cross. Just tripped up. Coach TB calls a timeout. Man, it's so interesting with Andrew Cross. You get good, and then you get, like, really bad, like a play like that. 2nd and 19. And Cross will deliver to Brian Baldwin. So good strategy that Coach taught, calling that timeout, trying to regather the troops here. 3rd and 6. This is a big one here, less than a minute. Still probably get a field goal, but obviously 28 would be a much better situation here. Cross feels the blitz, goes down once again. We've mentioned he's been hit a number of times so far this season. That was a corner blitz that he just didn't pick up. And on 4th and 14, it's going to be a long field goal here of 50-plus yards for Travis Richardson, the junior kicker. So it looks like no timeout's going to be called, so Richardson will let this one wind all the way down and then take a final shot. And, you know, UCF will have a bit of time. Maybe they can go for a Hail Mary or something. Richardson's kick, 50 yards. It is no good. Man, I thought he had the leg for it. SMU, they're really showing us this game, I guess, because it's a Big 12 opponent, perhaps. Moose, appreciate it. Moose saying I can sub. We appreciate you, Moose. Moose following us on Twitch, following us on YouTube. Of course, we got Patreon out there as well. So it is going to be a Hail Mary attempt here. And Lee, oh my God, that might be one of the worst Hail Marys I've ever seen, because there is nobody in the vicinity. We got Captain joining us here. Yes, we got Captain. We got a loaded house for this one. Big 12 conference play, guys. Do not go away. Second half action coming your way. UCF, Utah. It's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it.